I've been thinking about building a turntable for photogrammetry for a while now. When you do photogrammetry with a camera that's handheld, you can oftentimes have inconsistent lighting conditions. You can have issues with keeping the whole subject in focus, and you don't always cover all the angles. This can lead to very inconsistent results that don't always look great. When you use a turntable, you have much more control over your lighting conditions. You can put your camera on a tripod so you have much more control over what's in focus. And it's a lot easier to cover all the angles because you can spin the object. Along with making your results look better, a turntable makes photogrammetry much easier to do because you don't have to move around the object to cover all the angles. I'm going to use this plywood frame that I'd already made for a different project for this. It used to be part of a go-kart, but I changed the frame on that and I had this lying around. It's pretty well reinforced on the back because it was meant to support people, so it should be perfect for this project. To make that turn, I need to use some sort of bearing. I was thinking about getting a Lazy Susan bearing because they were pretty cheap and it seems like they would work well for this, but then I realized I had this fidget spinner lying around. It can support a decent amount of pressure when I push down and it'll still spin, so I'm gonna try to use this. I'm gonna make a base that doesn't spin out of a 2x4. First, I need to take this center part out of this fidget spinner. I just realized I need some sort of spacer between the center bearing and the wood, so I'm going to put one side back on and drive the screw through that. Now I need to cut some 2x4s and assemble the base. The bottom part now can spin. It doesn't spin super smoothly, and I don't know how long it'll hold up, so I might have to eventually replace it with a Lazy Susan bearing, but for now it works. I had this black can of spray paint lying around, so I'm going to see if this works. That paint wasn't working super well, but I found some more black paint in my garage. It turns out the random paint in my garage wasn't very good paint. That or I wasn't using it right, so I have to get new paint from the store. I bought some more spray paint at the store and I painted it and let it dry overnight. It would be better if you couldn't see the texture on the wood, but it should be fine. Now I just have to get my camera and test it. I'm going to test it with this roll of wire. This roll of wire is a bit small compared to the turntable, but it should be fine. I ended up taking 577 photos, and it could use 575 of them. And after it processed for a few hours, I got this model. I did put a bounding box around it to crop everything else, because if I didn't do that, it would try to show the whole turntable. And now when I open this model in a 3D viewer, I get this. It isn't perfect because as a hole over here and the top doesn't go all the way through, but it's still pretty good.